Hello, I'm Mr. Vogt. Today you guys are going to learn about the causes of World War I. Causes of World War I can be broken down into the 5 things up on the screen. M for militarism, A for alliances, N for nationalism, I for imperialism, and A for assassination. Militarism, the M. Militarism is when a country glorifies war. It spends a lot of money on war and it makes war a big part of what it does on a daily basis in terms of the military. Alright? So if you look at these countries down the bottom between 1910 and 1914, they greatly increased their military spending. France by 10%, Britain by 13%, Russia by 39%, and Germany by 73%. If you think about this, do you build up a military if you don't intend to use it? No. So you know that these countries are going to be willing and able to go to war if that's what it comes to. A, alliances. Alliance is where 2 countries agree to basically help each other. So you say, you know what, if country A gets attacked, I'll be there to help you. With troops, with money, with supplies, with whatever you need. Kind of like here at school. Here at school, you guys might be getting into a little bit of a fight with one of your friends. All right, no fisticuffs. We're talking about just a little argument. Do you expect your friends to back you up? Sure you do. Sometimes you may not even agree with the person you're backing up, but you made a commitment. If you look up here on the map, you will see the 2 major alliances in Europe prior to World War I. Everything in purple is what they called the Triple Entente. That included Russia, France, Great Britain, and Serbia. And remember Serbia. That's going to be an issue in a little bit. The Triple Alliance included Italy, Austria-Hungary, and Germany, located right here in the middle. Remember that, because that's going to come up later on in class as well. Alright, so what you have here, what have I already talked about here? Over on the left, we have the Triple Entente. Britain, France, Russia, big players. On the right, we have the Triple Alliance. Big players, Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. Nationalism. If I say, hey, you have a lot of nationalism, that means you're proud to be an American. A lot of countries at the time were going through the same thing. People were proud to be a German, proud to be Austrian, proud to be Italian, proud to be British. And the issue is, they started to compete. They wanted to be the best. And that could also be, is also considered a cause of World War I. Imperialism. If you remember in the last chapter, we talked about how larger countries were taking over smaller countries, looking for their resources, such as iron ore, lumber, and things like that. So if you have 2 countries that both want a country, will they go to war to get what they want? Sure. And if you look at one of the areas where it happens the most, is Africa. All right, if you look at here the map of Africa, and I don't expect you guys to memorize this, but if you look over here on the left, this lists all the different European powers that had some type of claim to Africa. You got the British, the French, the Belgians, the Portuguese, the Italians, and the Spanish. You had some German colonies prior to World War I. You do have some independent states. But as you can see, Europe was heavily involved in what was going on in Africa. Alright, the A, assassination. This is what we call the spark that started World War I. On June 28, 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austrian-Hungarian throne, was assassinated by Gavrilo Princip, a Serbian nationalist who believed that Bosnia should belong to Serbia. So a nationalist is somebody that really strongly believes in their country. It doesn't necessarily have to be a country. It can be just a group of people. And he believed that Serbia should control Bosnia. And he was willing to assassinate somebody. Now, this is not the main cause of World War I. It's the spark. It's kind of like if I got a big pile of wood and I pour gasoline all over it. It's not going to really start on fire until I take a match, I light it, and I throw it in there. We're in flames. So how does that work? All right, so here's Archduke Franz Ferdinand and Duchess Sophie in an open convertible car going through the streets of Sarajevo, Bosnia. Now again, today, do we see a president of the United States driving down a street in a convertible? No. And we can think of an example like JFK and what happened there. So now how does this work? Okay, so here's a picture of Princip after his assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Now, to give you a little bit of perspective of where this happened, okay, we are down here in Bosnia, okay, in Sarajevo, okay, and this will put in perspective on where this all happened. Okay, so here's the country of Serbia. Now, here's how this leads to war. Austria blamed Serbia for Ferdinand's death and declared war on Serbia. So right now, we basically got a conflict between Serbia and Austria. Now here's the problem. We got alliances. So each group needs to now back each other up. Germany said, all right, we got your back, Austria. We got you. So now Austria has the backing of Germany. While Russia says, well, fine. Well, then we are going to have to back Serbia because that's who our alliance is. So now what happens is it's just a chain of reaction of events. Okay? Then, Germany declares war on Russia. France pledges support for Russia and says, all right, fine. We got Russia's back against Germany, so now we declare war. Germany, in response, declared war on France. Germany invades Belgium on its way to France. And Great Britain steps in and says, you know what, we're going to support Belgium, and declares war on Germany. So now all of a sudden we have the lines being drawn in the sand. And now we have the Allied powers. We have the countries of Great Britain, France, and Russia. Over here we got what we call the Central Powers. Okay, the Central Powers become Germany, Austria-Hungary, the Ottoman Empire, and Italy. So remember when we talked about the center part of Europe? Those are these guys. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in class tomorrow.